Hello, Louisiana Irish Whiskey Reviews. I'm here in Louisiana, of course, and this is Justin and this is Elizabeth, and they're helping me do some reviews. And this is the Bushmills family, a little bit of the family, not the whole family. This is the original Bushmills, aged for a minimum of 3 years, but if you look on the website, it's actually 5 years.
Oh.
But it says 1608, but that's sort of deceptive because that's when that town, somebody in the town got a license to distill.
Oh.
But Bushmills itself didn't start till 1789.
Well, they really stretched that.
Yeah, 1608 is a lot different than 1789. But
Bold.
In real small print, original grants to distill. 16.
Wait, it says that? That's so funny.
Right, they have records showing, they found some records showing that in 1608 the government gave them a license to distill.
Good for that marketing person. They said, we're just going to lean into this.
I mean, if that's the town's little,
Yeah.
their special thing.
Right,
Yeah.
because if you look at some old advertisements from the 1940s, it says since 1789, Bushmills. Right, but it's still a long time.
Yes.
Long time.
Yeah.
When the British used to control all of Ireland. But anyway, this is from the United Kingdom because this is from Northern Ireland. It's still part of the UK.
Did you hear that sound?
Yeah, what was that?
That was weird.
And all the other ones on the back are from the Irish Republic. They have their own president. Now here's Red Bush. This is aged in bourbon barrels. This is a newer one from only 2017. Now Black Bush is the one we're looking at. So Black Bush was introduced in 1980, and it is aged 8 years in Oloroso Sherry casks. Oloroso Sherry casks, which come from Spain. And this is a different type of blended whiskey because most blended whiskeys will be like 80% grain whiskey and 20% single malt. But this one is flipped. It's 80% single malt and only 20% grain whiskey. Grain whiskey usually is kind of flavorless. It's just like the filler. But the flavors come from the single malt. But they flipped it. Of course, this is going to cost you more, age 8 years.
8 years.
It's not going to be, $19. All right. It's more like starting around 30.
Okay.
You get what you pay
When
for.
did you do your review of this one?
Oh, about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
I did taste challenges. All right, so the Bushmills distillery is north of Belfast, okay, and it's almost to the top of Ireland, almost on the on the north coast. It's a very old distillery, and there's like a little pen and ink drawing of it.
Oh, that's good.
It's real cork, but it's that pressboard cork. It's not a real honker cork, but it's still cork. Better moisturize it. I've had some problems with dry rot.
That's the same kind of cork that you see actually in sherry bottles.
That pressboard.
Yeah.
It's little chips of cork that they somehow hold together with a.
I guess if you have all these bottles and you're not opening them for a while, I could see how you could have issues with that.
And I think that's neat because I'm looking at the other Bushmills you have back here, and it's all Kelvin closure. It's the screw tops, right? But that one, I think because it's sherry cask, they decided to do
Oh, cork,
the kind of thing that you have in a bottle of sherry. It's a small cute. It's a small cute touch, but I think that's it.
That's nice.
Yeah, these are just metal caps.
Yeah. Which are the name, they're called Kelvin closures. A guy named Kelvin made them. I don't know the story anymore, but
A guy named Kelvin.
A guy named Kelvin.
And the reason they call it Bushmills is because there's a river called the Bush River, and there were some grain mills next to it, and they call it Bushmills.
Okay.
Okay, and there's a distillery. Okay.
Some good legs on here.
Yep. I mean, it's pretty famous in the Irish whiskey world, Bushmills. Okay.
Beautiful color.
Kind of like a light gold.
Keep waiting for Orangey to pop up and decide to be my friend, but it's not gonna happen.
She's somewhere around here. I mean, of course, with the rain, she could be hiding out.
Smells really nice. I don't really get the sherry per se, but there's like a sweet kind of smell to it. That's nice.
Almost like a wax. It's weird. But I'll tell you what, when I did blind taste test with this one, I always could tell it apart from the other Irish whiskeys every time.
Really?
I never confuse it.
So I'm going to say right away, Oloroso Sherry is a drier style of sherry. So across the board, Oloroso Sherry, you're looking for dry almond, you're looking for a little bit of olive brine, a tiny bit of salinity, not sea salt, not sea water. And this, right on the nose, I get that nuttiness. I think the sweetness is from the whiskey, but I get nutty. So for me, it is. I like sherry a lot, and I like Oloroso Sherry,
Yeah,
and
Justin's a
drier
big sherry
styles.
fan.
And so right away I can say like, oh, this is.
Okay, that's good. Nutty. I found it's got a nutty flavor.
Yeah, almost like an almond.
Yeah, right. Almonds.
Like that really comes through for me. This is very drinkable, you know. I would just have a little, like a tiny little glass of this to sip on.
It's really good. It doesn't have too much. It's not too much of that olivey, but that nuttiness is really there. And see, me, I like this neat, but I would really like this one. What's called a highball. So it's a
Tall glass.
yeah. It's the way that a lot of the Japanese culture, they drink their whiskey like that. It's taken with reverence. There are a lot of small micro decisions, but about 2 ounces of whiskey and 4 ounces of soda water and
A lot of ice.
a lot of ice in a tall glass. And
So like a little
that's
spritz.
how I would want to drink this, almost like a little spritz, and then drink that while eating, adult Lunchables, eating charcuterie or eating some sandwiches for lunch or something. That's how I would love drinking this like that.
Well, on the
Yeah.
Bushmills website, the first thing you're going to notice, like after they talk about the whiskey and what it's made up of, then they're going to go to cocktail recipes.
Yeah.
Suggestions, they call it suggestions. So then it might have that. For every product they make.
This is really good. It's sweet, but there's also like a little salty, maybe a brininess
Yeah.
in the aftertaste.
I don't know if you want to try more of it, feel free, but
No, this
I've
is
had it
enough.
so
I
much,
never
you
even
know.
had breakfast, so I gotta watch out.
And what do you say the percentage was on this?
I think it's 80. It's only 80 proof. 40%.
40% alcohol.
It's incredibly smooth. Like,
Yes, it's very smooth.
I mean, I don't know much about Bushmills, but I mean, I've had Bushmill once, and it's kind of a little bit, a little hot, but this is not at all. I'm not feeling, the kind of
burn.
alcohol burn until
Uh-huh.
it's like in my chest, and even then it's very subtle. It comes up, and I can feel it, and it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
not
yeah,
at all
see-
in the throat.
Yeah, like see if you try the
That's
white
delicious.
label, the basic one, it's going to be like 80% grain spirits. It's only aged for 5 years, and you might find it's a little hotter. But this is the one you see
Yeah.
everywhere. This is the one you always
That
see.
one, yeah.
But I mean, this one could be a little hotter. But it's almost invariably used in mixing. But anyway, you like this? You would recommend it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, y'all felt that breeze?
Yep. I thought y'all would like that Black Bush.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember where I bought it. Everybody
Yeah.
sells it around here. It was one of the stores. We got the great deal on the Red Bush. That was the great deal. We went to Savannah Discount and they had it for $9.99.
Ooh, you always find the discount.
Couldn't pass that up.
Savannah
Everybody,
discount.
it's like way cheaper than normal. $9.99, you got to buy it.
Yeah, that's delicious.
So what scores are you going to give it?
I didn't think you scored the.
I used to not, but until 2019. In 2019, I started scoring because I felt like I had enough experience,
Oh, I see.
with liquor.
Very smart.
I definitely know what score I'm gonna give it.
I appreciate you waiting till you felt like you knew more about it to rate it.
Right, I wasn't going to just start giving scores.
People
being
love
an
talking about
amateur.
things they don't know anything about. Okay.
I don't like to do that.
Well, I'm just gonna start off at 98.
Woo!
A plus. It's
Wow.
a phenomenal. I could see I am enjoying drinking it on its own, but I can also see it in the application of many different cocktails. I can drink it without food. I can drink it with food. I think knowing what I know about Oloroso Sherry, which isn't a lot, but enough, this definitely feels like whiskey aged in Oloroso Sherry cask. So as it's marketed, this is what I expect. This is what I want from it,
Yeah.
and it blew my expectations. It's not what I was expecting. It's really delicious.
Great. That's great news. What about you?
I'm gonna take it a notch back and say 97.
I'm going to go with 95 because that's usually what I've been giving it the mid A's, but maybe I've had too much of it and I've gotten too used to it, but man, I always love it. I mean, 95 to 98, we're only 3 points out of 100. You know, it's not like we're talking about big gaps.
Yeah.
So I always tell people,
Very impressive.
they ask me about Irish whiskey, you know, I'll say, well, you know, Jameson, everybody knows about Jameson. It's reliable, you know, it's kind of basic, but
For me, Jameson tastes like Jameson.
yeah, it's got a
Like,
standard
it just,
flavor.
yeah.
But I tell them, I say, do you really want to try something? You know, try Bushmills Black Bush. Oh, they'll say, oh, I never heard of that, meaning they're not going to try it, you know. But you weren't familiar with it, but you're not going to say it like, I'm not going to try it. You just say like, I'm going to investigate it.
And I never heard of
I see
it.
though.
And I like that.
I like that non-normative though. Whiskey aged in something else cask. So just the fact that doesn't matter what it is. Aged in Oloroso cask for 8 years. I know it's gonna have a certain kind of flavor profile at least. That's a lot of time to spend in a cask for a wine that has a lot of flavor. So I know it's gonna at least be at a certain level, and I'm gonna find it interesting.
Yeah.
I know, and every time I look at the Bushmills website, I'm more fascinated and just think, oh man, of course you can't get everything, you know, but just their offerings incredible, what they do, you know. So anyway, so we got some high scores here. We've been having some winners today. So les bon temps relais, we're going to end this review by saying y'all go to Northern Ireland and tour the Bushmills Distillery.